Welcome to my knife making world. Well, that's not really world, it's a shop. Anyway, I've gotten a request to do a video. I've been wanting to do videos for a while, but I got a request on how to grind a Tanto, an American Tanto. So I have this piece of 80 CRV2. It is 1/8 inch thick stock. We're going to cut out the middle knife here. See it? A little everyday carry Tanto blade. We're going to cut that out, we're going to profile it, and then we're going to bevel it. I just want to say, welcome. This is my first video, real video. I've done a couple of test videos, but this is the first instructional video, so we will we'll see what level of instruction that I'm at currently. So, we're going to go ahead and throw this in the vise, get that cut out. Now if this was thicker steel, something over 1/8 inch, I'd use the angle grinder to cut these off and cut that out a little bit, but 1/8 inch, I'm just going to go straight to the grinder. Alright, so I have a pretty well-worn 36 grit belt. I use it for shaping those corners because there's no reason to use a sharp belt for that, but it is too dull to be used for bevels. And the reason for that is that one, it gets real hot, but two, there's more grit left in the center of the belt than on the edges. And if you try to grind with a dull belt like this, it's going to make that bevel wiggly. Wherever there's more grit that's been taken off, it's going to take less out of the knife. So, for beveling we'll use a sharp belt, but for this, we're just going to use this pretty well worn. It's not too dull. It'll work just fine for this. everyday carry Tanto. Alright, now I'm just going to mark a couple things on here so we can get the bevels all lined up. We'll start beveling. Alright, so I have the bevels marked out roughly where they are going to go. And what I'm going to do is I'm still going to use this kind of pretty dull belt. And I'm just going to knock those corners off because those corners really eat up the grit. I don't want to do that to a new belt. So I'm going to use a used one and just kind of get it very rough in. I'll set the ricasso a little bit and then we'll switch to a 60 grit belt. Ready for 60. Okay, so next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind these bottom bevels. Grind those in. And really what we want to do, we want to take this line and just bring it all the way to the edge there. The most important part about grinding American Tanto is keeping things straight and very flat. So we have a 60 grit belt. We're going to go ahead and grind this first side. Same size on the bevel. Any little bit of wobble we can clean up after the heat treat. Any little bit of wobble there. Because the steel will be harder and it'll be a little, grinds on the belt a little bit better, for me at least. So, we're going to go ahead, we're going to take work table off. We're going to grind this forward bevel. Another important part after ending this is you want your belt to be in the middle of your pattern, so that when you grind, you don't risk coming off the corners here. That'll make a big wowie in your grind. You're going to want to focus most of that belt right on the tip, and you're going to pull this line down as you pull this bevel line back. And we're going to do that by going from a pretty, I know it's over exaggerated here, but a pretty, essentially a larger angle to a smaller one. We're going to pull it in. Alright, so I kind of overran that there, so I need to focus more on the tip and bring that line up a little bit, and we can adjust that out. Okay, so camera cut out while I was grinding the Swedge, and this is the final look of the knife. To focus well. And essentially the Swedge, you do just like the bottom bevel. And you start here, and you pull it over. And you just do that until you get a little bit of a Swedge. You're just grinding at a greater angle. Greater angle than is the really close angle of the bevel. And then you just make sure that they're even, equal. And there can be little things that need fixed, because we can fix them at the next grit. They're a little easier to fix. Small things are easier to fix at the next grit up. So we'll move up to 120 and then 220. They're easier to fix because there's less material being removed in any given moment, and you can be a little more fine with your removal of the steel. But we got a pretty nice grind, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another video after I'm going to drill the holes. I'll make another video for that. I'll make a video early next week, which will be drilling the holes, thermal cycling, heat treating, and then we're going to grind all this again. We're going to finish grind it. We're going to do the same thing at 120 and move it up to where we want to be, and at that point we can choose what finish that we want. Satin, we can do satin bevels, we can do mirror polish, we do stone wash, really just about anything we want to. So I just like to say that really the best way to learn how to do Tantos is by doing them and messing them up and then doing them again. Because it really is true, knife makers don't make mistakes, they make smaller knives, and even with this one it ended up being about, I think, about 1/8 of an inch shorter than the original design. Now if this was a knife that, I was doing a custom order for someone, I'd take it back and start over. But since this is just a little knife that I'll put up as, just available, it's not sold, I don't mind having it being, just about 1/8 of an inch shorter than the original design. So really just practice making mistakes, learning from those mistakes, figuring out why those mistakes happen, and figuring out what makes them not happen. And really the best part is just to have fun. We're not out here to be frustrated. We're not out here to be upset when something doesn't go as planned, because a lot of my most favorite designs have been larger knives that I made a mistake on, cracked the edge in the heat treat and had to grind it down into something else. Some of my favorite designs have been complete accidents. Just want to thank everyone for watching my first video. It's been quite an interesting experience. I actually think I grind better when I feel like I have someone watching me over my shoulder. It's been definitely interesting. Just like to thank anyone who decided to watch my video. This is my first, and so I'm definitely learning a lot. Lots of knowledge is being had this afternoon. On a Friday too. I think it turned out real nice though.